Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Burnfield. I'm back to do the vocabulary read aloud with you once again. This week's read aloud is called The Huntress. Remember, this passage contains all of the vocabulary words that you will be working with this week. As I read, I will stop and ask some questions. You should pause, think about an answer, and then speak it out loud. Here we go. The Huntress. It had been a night of fitful sleep. It was harvest time, so a day of hard work should have knocked me out. Just as I was finally drifting to sleep, I heard something. A small, tiny something. Eek! With my head buried under 4 heavy blankets plus a down comforter, I could still recognize the piercing squeal of a rodent in distress. I groaned, rolled over, and tried to drift back toward sleep. Eek! 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 Willa! Dad called in a weary voice from across the hall. See what's going on! By that time, I was already up and in my slippers. Plus, I knew exactly what was going on. My cat, Sheba, had captured a mouse, and a small one by the sound of it. If Sheba could talk, and she almost does talk to me, she would probably describe a mouse or any other pest as a delicacy. One thing I did know, if I didn't get there soon, my savage cat would be dining on mouse. Question number 1. What causes Willa to get out of bed and go downstairs? Think about the answer and then speak it out loud. The correct response is something like, Willa heard a mouse and she went downstairs to see what was happening. Or maybe you said, Willa's dad told her to go see what was going on. Something like that is the correct answer. Let's read on. Understand that I am not terribly fond of rodents. Nobody who lives on a farm is fond of pests. They eat through our grain and would take over the barn, the kitchen, and anything else if we let them. Still, I never could bear the sound of an animal in pain. I knotted the belt of my robe and descended the stairs in the dark. It didn't take long for me to find them. In the corner near the back door, I saw a small dark shape dart behind Dad's muddy boots. A shaft of porch light coming into the room showed the high black gloss of Sheba's fur. She had dropped into the crouch of a huntress. I saw the muscles of her hind end heave as she raised them high. Her haunches quivered. Then suddenly, wham! Sheba tackled Dad's boot and whatever lay behind it. Time for question 2. What details describe the story's setting? The first thing we have to do is decide what the setting is. Think about that and speak it out loud. If you said that the setting is a farmhouse at night during harvest time, you are correct. What are some details that helped us discover that? Think and speak again. Some details that help us discover that are that Willa says that she is in bed under the covers when she hears the sound. We know that she's in bed. In the passage, it also says anyone who lives on a farm is not fond of pests. That's a clue that she lives on a farm. Even the idea of her dad's muddy boots are a clue that it's a farm. At the very top of the passage, it says it's harvest time and she should be tired. All of these things are clues that help us determine the setting. Let's read on. Eek! Sheba had pinned the mouse's tail under her paw. As awful as it was for the mouse, I could not help marveling at how graceful and athletic my cat was as she hunted. Sheba, I crooned, hoping to distract her. How's my kitty tonight? How's the best mouser in the whole wide world? As much as Sheba loved to hunt, she could not resist a compliment. She released the mouse and rubbed against my leg. I picked her up, eased open the back door, and softly called, "Come, little mouse, freedom!" From out of nowhere, the mouse scurried out the door, its small shape flitting over the porch before diminishing into the night. I closed the door and carried Sheba up to my room. I snuggled under the heap of blankets. My kitty stretched out beside me. Soon her rhythmic purring made both of us drowsy. "Everything okay?" called my dad from across the hall. "Everything's fine," I said and closed my eyes. Question number 3. How does Willa feel about her cat? How do you know? Go back and see if you can find some answers. Once you do, speak them out loud. From the reading, we can tell that Sheba really is affectionate that Willa really is affectionate and loves Sheba. She gives her compliments, she strokes her fur, and she even lets Sheba sleep with her. Those are clues that help us know that Willa really loves her cat. Before we end for now, let's go back and reread each word. I will say the word, you repeat the word out loud. Here we go. Fitful, piercing, delicacy, savage, descended, heave, quivered, marveling, diminishing, rhythmic. Great work today, friends. I do want to remind you that you should take your time learning these vocabulary words. Today is the day that the vocabulary words are introduced. Throughout the week, we have placed suggestions and lessons for you to practice with the words, and then at the end of the week, you will be taking the vocabulary test. Just a heads up for you, this week's vocabulary test is a little different than the last ones that you've taken. All 10 words will be used, and you will have to use each word in a sentence. So make sure that you are taking your time and learning the words, not just rushing to take the quiz. Online learning is important. Keep your brain working. Keep up the good work, and I will see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye. I'm back for just a minute because look who just stopped by to say hello. This is Laverne. Just like Sheba and Willa, I love her very much. Laverne says, "Keep up the good work, 5th graders. See you soon. Bye."